Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Rich Latta here, back with another video. Caitlin Clark has been named the Time Magazine Player of the Year, Athlete of the Year, excuse me. Photo shoot dropped today, about a 34-minute read, it says on the article. Want to look at, some of the stuff that's in this thing. So business suit there, got the basketball black and white kind of photo. They write, this is by Sean Gregory. They write a pretty deep, in-depth column like that kind of details what made her the 2024 Athlete of the Year. And this is, a sensational accomplishment on many fronts because when we're talking about Athlete of the Year, they're not saying WNBA Player of the Year. They're not saying College Basketball Player of the Year. They're saying, when it comes to sports, period, this is a person that shook the game like no other. Flying in the face of traditional WNBA pundits who just seem to not understand or get the magnetism or think that someone else is her or could be her at the drop of a dime, when it took, women's basketball almost until its history to produce someone like this now. Like, there's almost no one else in the stratosphere. And it is quite a testament to her hard work and staying focused on, the goal essentially which is to, be a great basketball player. That's, all, this player really wants to do. And, she is someone that has broken brains from middle school on. And the more I've researched this and seen how the legacy kind of basketball, I don't know what to call them, the basketball tastemakers and decision makers in, women's basketball just don't quite wrap their arms around her in that same way. So it's interesting the way that she appeals to people beyond that bubble, and has kind of created a new bubble for herself where it's like, I don't need the approval of, the ESPN's folks. I don't need the approval of USA Basketball. I damn near don't need the approval of Nike at this rate. Who, I saw Paige Beckers, drop kind of a not a signature shoe. I think there's I look at it different. It's like, okay, this is like a kind of a sponsor shoe. This is not like, yeah, they made some new thing for you. Like, I think that's what Jordans are and stuff like that. Like, they might slap your name on a shoe or something, but she didn't get hers. And you would think the Athlete of the Year would be able to drop a shoe, but that has not been the case. There was, comments from her on this. Talk about her workout routine. She was shooting 95 threes inside of 6 minutes, and I believe making like 85 of them, or 85% of them. And that's crazy. You can see the different kind of, fashion that's in here. Like, they just went with the, I believe, maybe a no makeup kind of look, and, the dress pants, but also like the sporty top with the ball, sneakers, stuff like that. So like, you can kind of see like the fashion they're kind of going for here. Talked about, her monetary effect on the game, the ratings and different things like that. This is a highly recommended article. I would encourage you to check out. I'm not going to go through the whole thing here and pretty much spoil it, but they try to make this so like, let's take a look at this part. When asked to define her year in one word, Clark chooses the word historic. Clark, it quickly becomes clear, is polite and down to earth, but also has not an ounce of false humility. I've been able to captivate so many people that have never watched women's sports, let alone women's basketball, and turn them into fans, she says. Good luck naming another player who altered the trajectory of their entire team sport within 5 months on the job. Messi had a monumental influence on MLS, but he was in year 20 of his pro career. Jordan energized the NBA in the mid-'80s, but Bird and Johnson had already put the league on solid footing, while other female athletes have pushed the limits of human achievement and created their own cultures. Serena Williams, Simone Biles, and the stars of the U.S. women's national soccer team. The Clark phenomenon is still unprecedented. It's one thing to rally around athletes during a global spectacle like tennis majors or an Olympics or World Cup. It's quite another to turn routine regular season games in the WNBA, a league neglected for far too long over its 27-year history, into appointment viewing. That's why, yes, I think that's a thing that a lot of people miss. They didn't put her on the Olympic team even to do this. Like, this is like, she did this between Iowa and the WNBA. And I feel fortunate to be able to like have watched this athlete, got it very early, and watch the collective confusion just sweep over, other players, the legacy media in the league, and I was like, all right, man, I was like, this someone has to be able to address this in a way like to where these people are just wrong, and that's fine. People are allowed to be wrong, but it cannot be the only voice in the room, because then that's how it becomes like the dominant narrative. And the reason I started making a lot of these videos was like, I think that the coverage deserves to be a little bit more fair, and I think that something is being missed here. Like there's a blind eye going on. So I'm going to open that and just continue to frame what's going on, not only for myself, but for, just my contribution to the overall sports conversation. Of course, in the Time column, they went through a lot of the controversies and everything that went on, like as far as every week it being like a new kind of thing, with, this right here that I'm highlighting. Check it out for yourself. Make your own decisions on that. They went into the rivalry with Angel Reese, where they talked about Angel Reese getting labeled as classless and worse. They basically talked about how the rivalry carried over from college to the WNBA. Caitlin basically says, I don't get that at all. We're not best friends by any means, but we're very respectful of one another. Yes, they've had tremendous battles, but when has Caitlin ever guarded her? And when has she guarded me? She pretty much downplayed the gesture. She didn't think it was taunting. She says it didn't really bother her a lot. She was like, it's why, like, just why don't you just talk about them winning or the incredible run that they went on when nobody have thought they'd ever gone on? The only thing people really cared about was this controversy that was really fabricated and made up, and then that has continued to be the case ever since. So like, I think people care about it a lot more than them, but obviously there's only so much publicly that she's going to tell us on that, I would imagine. She's not really one to stoke the fires or turn them up. They talked about her NIL money and the impact that, making Iowa go across the world to Italy, Croatia, the NIL with Nike, Buick, Hy-Vee, and, the multitude of, endorsements that she's got, which is extended up to like State Farm and Gatorade. And so there's another part that's in this column that is about race within the WNBA, her relationship with black women. And they talked about her being on SNL, talking about Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, Maya Moore, Dawn Staley, Cynthia Cooper, what those players meant to her growing up, some of them being her heroes. And they quoted teammates, they quoted other players in the league. You can kind of see everything that's right there. And Caitlin herself spoke on this, and I think this is something that is very important. She said, Clark is cognizant of the racial underpinnings of her stardom. She says, I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege, says Clark. A lot of those players in the league have been really good, have been black players. This league has kind of been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think it's very important. I have to continue to try and change that. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing. And I think the overall sentiment from a lot of the legacy media is like, why doesn't Caitlin Clark speak up more? Why doesn't she, why isn't she just the savior that everyone wants? But it's like, at the end of the day, she's 22 years old. She's very cognizant of how her PR comes off, and she has never said anything that me as a black person has found off-putting about her, or she has never done anything that is like, to me, been inflammatory really in either direction, honestly. And it's like, I think that paragraph needs to get clipped and sent out, and I want a lot of people that were chastising her to read that and see, if that makes them think differently of her. I highly encourage people to read this, because almost like everything that Caitlin kind of kept quiet on throughout the year, she's giving comment on, down to, the Kennedy Carter situation with Angel Reese on the bench cheering. She's, speaking on that. They talk about the rivalry with the Connecticut Sun, with Dejanay Carrington. As you can see, some more of the fashion that's right here. I kind of find Caitlin Clark to kind of be a troll sometimes, so I can see the look on her face. It just like cracks me up. Got another look right here, dead serious right here. They talk about her getting 66 out of 67 Rookie of the Year votes, which still cracks me up till this day. She talked about Unrivaled in here and, why she chose kind of not to play. So she also said she didn't rule out doing it in the future, but this year is not the best for her. She thinks she's going to spend her winter lifting weights and working solo in the gym, and that's going to elevate her game. It's going to be good for her to do her own thing and have her own space. It is just, she had a lot, to, deal with. So... But all in all, really great column and a look at an athlete at a time, a very interesting time in her career. It is, at the formative stages of basically like becoming a super duper star. And, I couldn't be prouder to, be a fan of hers and, watch her game grow. And, I can't wait to attend a game to see her in person. So I think, definitely check out this column, read it, internalize it, and kind of like, I would say stay away from, the outtakes of this thing. That you might see on somewhere like Twitter or whatever your social platform is, and read the column itself, because it's like, I think you get a clear look on who this young woman is, and it is quite fascinating to see, the way, she knows who she is through all this stuff, and there's, stuff that she could clearly turn the button up on, but she's cognizant of her power and cognizant of knowing that she's the premier player in basketball at this point. There's nobody moving the needle like her. Congratulations to Caitlin Clark, 2024 Athlete of the Year for Time Magazine. And maybe it's not her last one. So, but when you check out the column, if so, let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Anyway, my name is Rich. This is One Lifetime. Holla at y'all. And, support the channel, like the video, subscribe, comment, hit the merch store, pick up a hat, pick up a shirt, do what you do. And I'm up out of here. Peace.